upside down and shaking all around. They see no end inside. I thought I was losing. I remember what you say. You've got a place for me.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Recovery Unplugged Live. It's myself and Amy in here right now. BlkPepperPotts turned off her phone. She's looking for a book to raise her camera up. Amy's showing off her black eye. She got into a big slobber knocker fight last night with a stairwell.
I was trying to share. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I was helping my aunt down off the steps, and I had my Jack Skellington flip-flops on, and there's a hole or like an indentation next to the sidewalk, and I stepped on that, and I lost my balance, and I landed on my face.
Oh, that's the worst place to land. Did you break your glasses?
Yeah, not these, but my other ones that I absolutely love. Mom said she heard my head go thunk.
Oh.
Ouch. Ouch, ouch.
Yeah.
So other than that, what else is...
You can go to Vision.
Yeah.
Okay, so at Miracle Makers, the Letters to Daniel, the motion picture, has been officially selected. The script, the teleplay, Letters to Daniel, the series, has been selected, and The Guardian has been. And also, I think I mentioned this already because they announced it last week sometime, but at Imaginarium, our episode featuring me, Lorraine, and Annabelle Monroe got selected for Imaginarium.
All right.
Awesome.
Good work.
Yeah, and someone nominated me for like this big writer award as an author, and I got it, and now I'm going to end up being a speaker, and they're going to pay me, and yeah.
She said they're going to pay me.
Yeah, that works.
But, and I finished the Assassin's Redemption script. As we know, that is guaranteed distribution by Green Apple Entertainment. It has T.C. Stallings' interests. We're approaching Kevin Sorbo and Tim Culbertson from Hill Street Blues from way back in the day is got a cameo. And we are also talking to Michael Geyer, who has been like a regular on, like a semi-regular on Stokes over the years.
All right.
And trying to think of anything else. Nothing else.
No? All right. So we have BlkPepperPotts in here tonight. She's from GNBC Cuyahoga County, but she is also the...
There is one more thing.
Oh, what?
An Olympic medalist, Dina Castor, the American women's record holder in the marathon. She won a bronze medal at, I think it's the 2008 or 2012 Summer Olympics. Anyway, I adored her because, I've run a marathon, and she runs, I'm like, she sent me a message, and then she gave me her email, so we've been emailing back and forth. So that's pretty cool. Can you hear me?
A little bit. I don't know if you have a connection issue over there or what, but we heard some of it. We heard that you're emailing an Olympic medalist.
Yeah, I don't say anything because my connection is usually so bad. I always think it's me. So.
Dina Castor. She's a marathoner, and for anyone who, and this is not because I think people are stupid, but people usually, she runs the marathon that's 26 miles, 26.2 miles, and she ran it in like 2 hours and something. She's the American record holder. Is this a problem? Do I need to switch to my phone?
No, I don't think so. Okay. We can hear the questions okay. So, BlkPepperPotts, your show is called Fall Thru The Stup. How long have you been doing it?
Since January of 2019.
Okay. And how did you start doing that? Why did you sit down and think, I want to do an episodic broadcast?
It originally started with guys. It was supposed to be an all guys show for them to have a panel to come and sit down on. As it evolved, I went from being behind the camera to co-hosting and still producing and editing the show.
Okay.
And that just happened over, that's just how the show just evolved.
So when it started,
'Cause I
you
do
were
have a
behind the
co-host that
camera.
isn't here. Yeah, I started behind the camera. Yeah, and that was the goal. I planned to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to be anywhere else.
And so what happened? Were you guys like short of guests or something, or how did it work that you were on the other side?
Like I said, it just evolved. For some, showing up for a show just wasn't for them. I mean, it was just that small of a thing for some people. Who we have now, my co-host. I mean, we've been going strong for the day one.
Your co-host has a cool name. What's his name?
Should I say it since he's not even here? His name is Maserati Miyagi.
Sounds like a fast name.
Yeah, he didn't want to make it. It's just scheduling.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
What other types of creative things do you do or are you into?
Right now, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead because I don't have as much going on as she did. But for me, I'm working with Brandon on Hill City, the G1 NBC Cuyahoga County. Trying to really keep up and be involved with that. Those are the three main things on my plate right now. Is my show, Fall Thru The Stup, G1 NBC Cuyahoga County, and Hill City.
Gotcha. And
and I go to work Monday through Friday.
Gotcha. And had you done camera work before? Are you trained? Do you what's your experience? And
before podcast?
Mm-hmm.
No,
me neither.
Nope. And I'm lucky to have people around that know what they're doing, that show me, these little things to do, even if it's just to get me by for the moment, And
Yep.
those little tips can be so major.
Oh, for sure.
Even down to trying to figure out, because I bought a camera and trying to figure out how to learn that. I mean, the smallest little things people have told me have mattered. Oh my man,
Yep.
so much. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody. I want to name everybody.
And we're live on Facebook. We're live on the G1 NBC Live. We're live on Amy Unplugged Facebook page. We're live on the G1 NBC Live YouTube channel, and we also go live on the Hive blockchain. And so for those of you watching on Vim, whether it's live or on the replay, this is Letters Girl, LETTERSGRRL, and this is BlkPepperPotts, BlkPepperPotts. So make sure that you give them a follow and an upvote on their most recent post, if you'd like, which you should.
Yeah, do that. Yeah.
All right, Amy.
Wait.
Any questions?
Yes. A lot of times I heard you talking about how you started out behind the camera and how you never had any intention going in front of it or doing performance or doing anything like that. And it's the same here. Recovery Unplugged came out of something else altogether, my movie. And I wanted to continue to help people where raise, mental health awareness, but also talk about mental illness for real and talk about how it affects everybody and how it affects everybody differently. And there is a big difference between this season 5, and season 1. You can ask God, huge difference. But I never intended to be a talk show host. And I recently wrote a one-woman show. So I never intended to act either. So I highly encourage you to just keep, whether it's writing or acting, just keep exploring because, there's room enough for all of us out there. And,
something for everybody. Yeah.
And you talk about how it evolves. Well, this is kind of more of a loosey-goosey kind of platform, and what I want to know is that, do you go into your show with set questions and then let it take off from there, or do you have all set questions, or is it just from the hip the whole time, like you're just like we would call it pantsing? You don't have a set of questions, you go with the flow and you see which way the conversation's going.
It honestly depends on the guest and the prep time. If it's someone that I know well, I mean, it's easy to pull, just random questions. If it's someone that I don't know, that's a little different. I at least, take a moment and scroll through, their social media, and find out what's going on with them. There's also, just kind of got to wing it sometimes, because sometimes people get booked at the last minute.
Yeah.
So I base it off of what they do. So if you do music, then I'll pull some music questions. If it's movies, then pull some movies questions. But also they're there the whole time we film, so they're involved through the discussion. It helps people get more comfortable, as far as I can tell. Before you start asking questions about themselves, we actually go in the opposite order. We actually kind of have conversation and then kind of ask them about themselves. Honestly, because we also kind of get a little off track. Have to double back.
And are the guests usually on camera, or can they call in, or do they call in sometimes?
Always on camera. We were on camera all the way through COVID. Actually, we didn't stop. we didn't stop. I felt like, and it was for me and my co-host. We still had to go to work. This was also our job. So this was also our job, and I got marked essential. So if I still had to go to work, for somebody else, then I was still gonna go to work for myself.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about, since he's not here, about what who your co-host is and what it's like hosting a podcast with him.
How much time do we have left?
It's up to you.
It's been an experience, but a good one though. Like I said, he's been here since day one. So he was actually the first person I asked to be on that panel that was supposed to be the all guys. It was him and one other person. I inboxed them, at the same time. So I appreciate him for showing up and taking the chance, because I still don't know what I'm doing, and I definitely didn't know what I was doing back in 2019. So it's hard to really appreciate somebody, for something I think to some seems so minimum to just show up. Like, just to show up is like amazing.
Well, yeah, I know
I know, and it's so unfortunate he couldn't be here because he wanted to. I'm so sorry.
I know it. When people don't show up, they tell you, right? So John worked on Letters to Daniel, and there was an occasion where we had 7 actors, no call, no show, and we shot it. We shot the movie in 6 days, and John was there. What was it, for 4 or 3.5?
I believe so. No, I was there for 4. I think.
Yeah.
4.5.
Yeah, you were there. And
he never does that though. I never got a no call, no show out of him. It's always, hey, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't look when they no call. So because the person no call, no show, we had a scene that was the memorial of my best friend's father's death. And John's on the other side of these double doors, on the other side of the sanctuary. He's kicking these. There were the Sudanese congregation was using the church, and he said there were 18 to 30 kids, all under the age of 3. And they all wanted to come into the sanctuary where we were filming. So he had to stand on the other side and basically kick them back into play. But John said he felt sorry for the guy they had left with all these kids.
He had more than a classroom of kids of varying ages, and the 3 to 6 year olds would just always get out the door somehow. And they just
at that age.
Yeah, and they just love peeking through the door, seeing the cameras and seeing what everyone was doing. So
They're good at that age.
My goodness,
they're like little MacGyvers at that age.
I don't know how they kept getting out.
Well,
they knew. They had it all figured out.
So, what also happened was a tornado siren went off at that time. And we had an actor no call, no show. And he had the photograph to show that because we didn't have a casket or anything, so it would be a memorial. But Mark, our cinematographer, said, hey, if they're involved in the story, they won't notice. And everybody always comments how powerful that scene is. Because, because Jenny managed to get herself to cry. And it was just really good. But the guy did not show. And when I tried to get a hold of him, he didn't answer. And I was like, wow, first a tornado, now the no call, no show. I understand but they also say the magic happens in those moments where it's, what are you going to do?
You got to just figure it out.
Goes wrong. That's where the magic is. Have you ever had one of those moments happen and then just like something spectacular, like have a great show or have a great rapport? So, you ever have an experience like that? Either with your show,
because we're so random. Yeah, there's been shows that have gone way better than I expected, just from having people talk and open up. I know you mentioned like someone cried on scene. I've cried on the show before. I don't remember what we were talking about. Wherever it was, broke me out. Something about my kids. That's what it was. And that was the first time I had ever cried on camera, and I haven't since then. But you know what? I guess that would be the top one, the fact that I freaking cried on camera.
How was it working with Brandon? And now I understand Brandon has kind of had a rotating, he has had some regulars who've been there since the beginning, like Mr. John Spalding and William Grossman and
Fish.
And but he's got he's got David Walker and I think it's Vitali, right?
Vitali Versace.
Yep.
Vitali Versace. So what was it like working on the set of Hell City?
Oh man, it has been such an experience because I've never done this before. So someone may hear that and think, it's an independent film, but for me, this might as well be a major movie set. It doesn't, like, that doesn't matter to me because I'm that person that's never done it before. So I get to experience all these things for the first time, from the script to the screenplay to going to a location and setting up the day before and figuring out shots and audio and all those things. Yeah, I'm having a blast. I am having a blast. This is so much fun. And then down to being on camera for the first time ever in my freaking life doing a movie. I've done it with pods, and I've gotten comfortable in that. That's one thing. One, it's my word. I don't have to put so much thought, in being me. But to be someone else that I didn't create, that and it's not, and so far I haven't even done that much, but the little that I've done, that edit, that's all I've done so far. I've never done anything else. Well, we did, I'm sorry, we filmed last week for a different scene, but that first one that's out of that sneak peek little kind of edit, that's the one for me. That's the one. I looked at it, I was like, oh, but, yeah.
You look great, and you were very natural.
Thank you.
I like natural acting. I don't like that I don't like acting with a capital A. I don't want to be able to.
Yeah. Well, I am a Jim Carrey fan. That's my over actor, though.
Well, wait a minute.
He is an over actor, but I love him.
It's okay. Okay, so now I'm going to shift gears a little bit, and we're going to talk about mental health.
Okay.
And I guess the first question straight out of the box is, have you ever been directly or indirectly affected by mental illness? Whether it's depression, bipolar, ADHD, schizophrenia, stuff like that.
Yeah. I think the majority of us that notice a change in our behavior have at least experienced depression in some form, because I feel like for everyone it isn't the same thing. But yeah, last year, I mean, how many people had to experience some form of depression just from being home
Yeah.
and everything that was going on alone? You know,
Yeah.
everyone had to have at least one freak out moment over something that just has you like, whoa, this is like a lot. I had a few of them.
Man.
Yeah, it was a tough
for
year.
me, for me, you know, I turned that into more of a motivation thing. You know, I wasn't happy where I was when everything was taking place last year. So I had to change a lot in Hell City.
Okay. Have you ever been on set or had a show where you noticed maybe someone was having an issue like anxiety or something that they needed to take maybe a minute and step aside and get a breath and try to figure out what was going on with them? And if you did you do anything to help them, or did you because everybody, like you said, everybody's different, and some people want to hug and some people want to be left alone.
Yeah, some people don't want to be touched at all. I've seen people on the show just kind of have a little bit of anxiety from nerves, because we're live also. Over time, I've kind of learned to point that out and walk people through, like, what we're having a topic on, or, you know, because there's more than one person there, they can kind of, you know, sit back from the topic a little bit. Especially if I notice I'm nervous, I won't be so quick to ask them a question. I'll kind of maybe stay away. So I've seen that happen, but that's about the only thing I can say.
It's interesting having to adjust live too. If you see something like that happen.
Woo. I've had to adjust to a lot of things live. I mean, down to just losing the feet altogether. I mean, I'm sure everyone that has done anything live can attest to.
I will say that this format is kind of deceptive, because it's just us in this little box here, and the person with access to, if anybody's watching us, is the gentleman on this over here. And it feels very intimate and it's very comfortable, and I want people only to feel like, you know. Have you ever had any experiences with family or friends who were suffering from severe mental illness? And by that, I have severe mental illness. I have bipolar disorder. So how would you say guide them if something like that was happening?
The only experience I've had for that out of my family, I mean, I can honestly say, as far as close family, there hasn't been much mental health that I'm aware of. But my grandfather did. He had Alzheimer's. That was an experience. I was about 13 when he passed, and, you know, I was like always around him. You know, he spoiled the heck out of me. It was that kind of relationship. So to see him over time and be old enough to have enough of understanding of, you know, what was going on, that was a lot.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to switch gears now, and we're going to have a little fun. We've got some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
If your life was a movie, what would the title be?
Woo! That's the title?
How do you spell that?
Can it just be a symbol like Prince? And there has to be some kind of symbol to just say, woo! It has to go like this. It would have to, there's no straight lines, it's just in circles and, all kind of crazy things.
Okay, so if you could cast anybody to play you in this movie, who would it be? You know who you look like? I'd cast Tiffany Haddish.
All right, so that was a visceral reaction.
I need someone that has been through life, I don't think she's quite there yet. I don't know, because I'm at an odd age. Like, okay, you got to pick a time period in my life. Maybe that would be easier. Like an age.
Okay.
Teenager, younger,
Well, I will tell you, Tiffany was homeless and lived out of her car, and
You know what? I forgot that. But I was honestly, when I said been through it, I don't think she has kids. That's the hard shit.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking away from anyone that has gone through that, but I was mentally thinking kids. Like, I'm so
you were thinking
no one has come.
Okay, well, what about let's see, the 90s? Pick someone from the 90s.
Left Eye. Lisa Left Eye Lopez.
Yeah.
Because I was that kind of tomboyish, I kind of was very similar to her. And in that era. So
You ever burned down your boyfriend's mansion?
Did I?
You think about it?
But I have yet to have a boyfriend with a mansion. So hold on, John.
There's still time. There's still time.
I may be back.
A VH1 Behind the Music, and it goes, Chili calls T-Boz. It goes, T-Boz, turn on Channel 9. Lisa's butting down the house.
Yeah, she was something. I've been that angry. I've been pushed that far, but it's the consequences for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to jail.
Right.
Well, the first time she did it, her boyfriend had a marble bathtub. The second time she did it, it was fiberglass.
Oh.
And that's why I caught on fire.
Like you said, the first time. The first time.
I know. But she seemed to be extremely at peace with herself when she passed. She was so I don't know if maybe they even, at least reconciled in some kind of way or things that happened then. But she seemed to be good with herself. So that's major.
Okay, so I understand Ohio has the Russo brothers, and the Russo brothers did the Avengers, and some of that was filmed in Ohio, and I know
BlkPepperPotts. Pepper pie.
Yeah, so what is it like, because I attend Indie Gathering, which Brandon has been nominated like 3 times at, and I'm always hoping he's gonna win, but he didn't. But that's besides the other one. But I go to Indie Gathering. It used to take place in Hudson, Ohio, which is just like 20 minutes southeast of Cleveland, and now it's going to be in Mentor, Ohio. And what I want to know, and of course they've got the giant one, the Cleveland International Film Festival, which is an Oscar qualifier. I'm going to tell you about AOF. They have a film festival called associated with it. It's called the New Cinema and Music Festival, and they accept video podcasts. So, and the deadline is not up. Its final deadline is July 5th. So go to actiononfilmfest.com and click on the New Cinema and submit 1 or 2 of your podcasts and see. Yeah. And they have a 30-minute one, a 60-minute one, and a 90-minute one. So, so go for it, because that, and it's held out in Las Vegas.
Oh, even better. I need a vacation. I need a vacation. I
Right.
haven't had one since 2018. I need a vacation.
Have you had any fun question? Have you had any close encounters with a celebrity while living in Ohio?
Wow, I missed that part. Wow, what in Ohio?
A close encounter with a celebrity, like a A-list actor, like
Oh, just no, but I don't really go anywhere, so that doesn't really count.
You seem
Yeah,
pretty busy.
I'm not really one. Well, I am now, but even well, shoot, even as a teenager, I did like sports and things like that, So, but yeah, I don't. But I gotta be honest. Do people really come to Cleveland like that? I don't know, but I don't really leave the house.
To film.
Again,
They
I'm
do
not
to
one
film.
ask.
they
Yeah.
do to film, and it like
Yeah,
I've never met an A-lister.
they
I never. Nah.
so and finally, last question before we open it up. Do you have any inspirational thoughts or advice for someone watching who wants to start their own podcast or get into acting who might be struggling with mental illness as well?
I would say just do it. It's hard to overcome things, but for me personally, it's those things I don't want to look back on and ask what if. Especially given last year. Like I said, everything was just so up in the air. And I feel like if you really push to that point where you're tired of where your life is, that's when you make a change. No one else can think anyone else to do anything they don't want to do until they want to do it. So when you hit that point, that's how it went for me. I hit that point of something gotta give. Can't keep doing this every day. I can't keep going to work 9 to 5 every single day, Monday to Friday. I really thought about how many more years that was gonna be, how old I am, and how many more years I was gonna have to do it. And I said, nope. No, I did the math, and I did the math like 2 or 3 times. I said, no, I can't. And that's when I started to make a lot of changes in my life, which could have led to, honestly, major depression. For me, knowing I couldn't continue to do these things every day, I had to find something else that was going to lead me to something else. That could have led down a serious road of depression.
Yeah. So, John, are there any questions?
There aren't any questions. Where can they find your stuff? And where can they find more about the show?
BlkPepperPotts everywhere. That's literally BlkPepperPotts. Instagram, Twitter, IG, TikTok.
And Hive.
For Fall Thru The Stup, which is FALLSTUP. No, wait, I skipped a word. FALLTHESTUP 216. I think I screwed that up twice. But we can also be found everywhere. Spotify, YouTube, G1MEC, Kyle, Connie, Instagram, Twitter, and also TikTok. The important part of that is STUP. That's the part you gotta make sure you get right.
What is your most viewed TikTok video?
I don't know.
Man, I'd be all over that. Yeah. Okay.
But I want to get back on there. Honestly, these movie clips, they're gonna be all up. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
one that we just did, that should be up there. Yeah. But, last year I was just trying to figure it out. I wanted to know how TikTok worked. So anything I did last year was honestly an experience. Like, let me experiment because I am actually like older than the kids that are on here and pick it up so easy. So I got an understanding of it. That's really what that was. So it wasn't like a numbers for me.
Yeah, that's a lot of things about social media. That's a lot of things what people kind of don't get about social media is like all those platforms. they're all closed systems, so it really is
They're
just
different language.
Exactly.
To me,
yeah.
each is a different freaking language, and I had to learn that language. And I got it pretty much figured out that I can hop on now and kind of scroll through and see what's going on. And like, oh, okay. So I actually like it though. It's fun. Like if I had that as a kid, oh man. Being a kid and be able to take my phone and just like create so many different things because of all the effects and things they have. The green screen alone is like a blessing if you're trying to hurry up and do something real quick.
Oh yeah.
Hop on there. Yeah.
Lifesaver.
I will say my most viewed video is 2000, and it was my film that John helped me promote, and everybody. It kind of did an organic thing, and we didn't have any money really to speak of. Basically. Oh, Brandon says I'm trying to come in, but the link ain't working.
He doesn't have the right link.
Aww.
He doesn't have the right link.
Aww, you don't have the secret code.
Take that. Oh, I got one more question for you. What's your most memorable moment on the show or from the show so far?
From my show?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Whatever episode it was when I was finally comfortable in front of the camera. I'm not exactly sure where that happened, but it took a while. Yeah, I don't know exactly which one, but whenever that happened, that's my favorite episode right there. I don't care what we talked about or anything. Whenever that happened, that's the one.
Gotcha. Right on. All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me.
We will be back next week. Well, go ahead,
sorry.
Amy. I cut Amy off.
Next week, I think I'm going to reach out. We should have a Letters to Daniel reunion show.
That'd be cool. And if we can't set it up for next week, then we should set it up sometime soon before AOF.
Yeah, John's going to AOF. He's going to have look, I'm having a hard time. Like I wasn't able to do much of anything this weekend about the one thing. Because, first of all, my cat. And then second of all, I decided to land on my face.
Fun.
But I will ask Nell about that one thing.
Okay. And then we'll also, on July 5th, we're going to have Matthew Mark Hunter from MMH Productions, also a G1 NBC Cuyahoga County content provider, coming to say hey on Recovery Unplugged Live.
All right.
Thanks, BlkPepperPotts, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck in Hell City, Fall Thru The Stup, and all your other artistic endeavors and creative endeavors. And I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon.
Yeah, probably like tomorrow or something.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Recovery Unplugged Live. We will have the VOD up ASAP after the show's over. So thanks for coming on, and we will see you all next week. Oh, we're going to leave with a trailer for Old King Cole, Amy's favorite trailer.
Yes.
And then next we might want to get up some clips from Hell City for the July 5th one. So, all right, everyone, be good, and we'll see you next Monday. All right, you guys.
I came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Try to catch me howling at the moon.
is upside down and shaking all around. They see no end inside. I thought I was losing. I remember what you say. You've got a place for me. Protection from the storm. It's you I'm choosing. You've got a love so pure. It pulls me in for sure.